think fashion is officially dead. And similar to what Kendrick Lamar said, we need to let the party die. We need to burn it down and rebuild it, because right now I think it's not in a good state. And I think that's a big part of the reason why I really haven't been motivated to participate in it. So anyway, hi guys, welcome to my channel. Welcome back, shall I say. I've been gone for a really long time. I think it's been like 2 years, or it's been close to 2 years. And I'm not gonna do like this whole thing about why I've been gone. I mean, essentially, I just haven't felt like making videos. If you're new here, this is probably gonna be a little bit of a chatty video. If you don't like that, then it's not the video for you. Don't leave comments talking about we talk too much. I've seen people do that on other people's channels, and I think it's rude, and don't do it here. This is a chatty conversational video, and a lot of my videos will be that way, and that's how my audience likes it to be. So you know what, if it's not for you, it's not for you. Some people want 1, 2, 3 content. That's just not really what how my channel is anyway. But I'm nice like that, so I'm letting you know, like right now, that that's not what you're gonna get with this specific video. So don't leave rude comments. I feel like we've kind of gone rampant. I don't know if it was, since Trump got in office, the election, people have just lost their minds over the past few years, and you'll get blocked. So that's how I feel about that. But anyway, I don't know. I just really haven't been super, I would say, inspired by fashion, even though I'm still a fashion girl. Like, I still look cute, whenever I step out the house. But for the most part, I just haven't felt compelled to like really like vlog about it in a lot of ways, simply because I do work from home now. I've worked from home for the past like 3 years, really since I moved from Houston to DC. And I think that it's just one of those things where, for me, that was like my creative outlet, getting up and going, to work every day and figuring out what I was going to put on. That was like me being creative. And when you don't really have to do that every single day, I think that that sort of like stunts your creativity to a degree, for me at least. There was like a gnat flying around here. But anyway, but I think that's just simply because, I don't really just get dressed, just to like take pictures for the gram. Like I like to share like my lifestyle with you if I'm like really doing something. So that's why I would do like the daily outfits, when I was going into work, because that's what I was really doing. And I showed it because it was content, but it was also because it's what I'm really doing. But I'm not going to get up and put on an outfit to sit in the house. So, you know. So anyway, so I'm probably on TikTok more than I'm on Instagram, to be honest with you. I just find that app to be a lot more entertaining. It's funny. You can find funny videos. You can find informative videos. And I think it's just an entertaining app. This is going to be a rough video. I already know it's going to be. It's been a long time since I've actually like... Anyway. And as much as I love TikTok, and I really, really do love TikTok, there's still a lot of discourse on that app compared to other apps. And I'm not really on Facebook like that. I mean, I may post randomly every 2 weeks or whatever, and that's it. And then most of the time, though, I would say that my activity revolves around a picture that I may post on Instagram that automatically uploads to Facebook. So there, I don't really participate in the shenanigans over there. I am very active on Twitter. And then, TikTok, I'm not as active, but I scroll on there, a lot. And so that's where you get most of your like fashion content from me. Because I like the short term format. I don't really have a ton of, I would say, not patience, but I don't really have the attention span to do a ton of like long format content, which probably is one of the reasons why I haven't made too much of it, in the past couple of years. So that kind of makes sense, right? But anyway, so you do get a lot of discourse. So you get a lot of good information in fashion, and there's a ton of discourse. And so one of the things that I did talk about in a short video was about like this whole Target boot, fry boot conversation. And even though I dragged the girls a little bit about being, irritated about the fact that there is a dupe for various reasons. And for those who are not aware, there's this fry boot. It's called the banana. It's like I don't know what the boot's called, but I think the color of it is like banana. Honestly, it looks like a basic boot. It's a basic silhouette of a boot, but you know, I think maybe Fry is the one that sort of like made it more popular. But the boot is old. Like it's been around for, at this point, I think decades. You know, it's a, you know, a long-standing boot. This boot now is like $500. I think a couple of years ago, or maybe 5 years ago or so, the boot may have been like $250, $300. Now I think that boot's like $495. It's expensive, but it's a full leather boot. You know, I'm sure the boot is great quality and it'll probably last you a long time. Well, Target has a dupe. Now, my dumb ass, I thought that this was a Target like branded boot. So I thought that it was probably, you know, $50 or $60, around the normal price of like a boot you would find at Target. I thought it was going to be like faux leather, you know, but maybe it was a really good dupe, which is why the girls are going crazy over this dupe. So I'm looking because I really want to see like what the girls are going crazy about. So I'm looking and looking. I have a hard time finding this boot. And when I find it, y'all, do y'all know this isn't even a Target branded boot? It's a drop ship boot. It's from another brand. The boot's $200 and it's full leather. And I was talking to my friend Sophia a couple of days ago, and I was like, why are we tripping about a dupe of a very popular silhouette? That happens all the time. How many dupes are there or UGGs? Like, there's a million UGG dupes. A million, and no one goes crazy over it. So why are we going crazy and trying to shame the girls from buying a cheaper boot? And then this boot isn't even like cheap. $200 is an investment. $200 is not a cheap throwaway boot. And a $200 boot can last you years. So you can't even use the sustainability factor on it of saying, oh, this is a throwaway boot, that's just a trend. A, this is a classic silhouette. It's not a trendy boot at all. And then the dupe is full leather. And it's $200. So to me, the question is, why is it that this particular brand can make the boot and retail it for $200 and it looks exactly like it? And then, but Fry's boot has to be retailed for $500. That to me is a bigger question. That's a bigger story. But I started thinking about it and I'm like, you know what? This discourse really revolves around the fact that fashion is boring right now. We have nothing else to talk about. Like, what is there really to talk about in fashion? Like, nothing. There's nothing going on. So I'm not even mad at the girls for having the discourse because you know what? We're bored. There's nothing else to talk about. That's why we're over here going gaga over barn jackets. Why? Because there's nothing new in fashion. And then the few things that are a little bit new, like for example, the mesh shoes or like the bubble skirts or something like that, everybody does them. So it's like once everybody starts like creating the same product, then it just becomes less interesting, you know, unfortunately. And that's just really the way that it goes. Like, let me show you. So I was reading this article on Glamour about the trends, and there's nothing new here, guys. Like, it's nothing. Let me see if I can find it. So this trend report, September 5th, 2024 from Glamour. So I know, sorry, that was the wrong article. Hold on. So the first one was Country House Chic. It's just a bunch of plaid items. Plaid is a fall staple. Plaid is not a trend. It's not new. I mean, maybe in the way that they've styled it, but these are unique pieces, you know, maybe like that top in the middle of that outfit. But like this long plaid skirt, I mean, I guess maybe you can say that that's interesting, but for the most part, it's plaid. That's what we're talking about. And then they still show like a pleated skirt, a barn jacket. Like nothing is new, guys. Like nothing is new. Then we have Boho 3.0. Show some Chloe pieces, which the Chloe, I will say that Chloe, you know, that new direction of the new CD there has definitely like put Chloe back on the map. Doing like more of the sheer ruffles. So you do see that. And I know that H&M released a bunch of those things. I want to say Zara has, and also Mango. So like the fast fashion brands have definitely kind of clambered onto that particular trend. But even that's not like super new. But I'll give you that one. I'll give you, you know, like the boho chic, because that's something that I feel like has kind of made a resurgence. But sheer hasn't. But I'll give you sheer and ruffles. But the two combos have to be there. And then I still see in here studded jacket, like studs are in. Studs have always been in. That has never gone away. Like, what are we talking about? Oh, and then the third one is denim on denim. I think the Canadians would like to have a word. Denim on denim is not a trend. That is a staple. What are we talking about? And then, okay, riding boots. Y'all. Dark terry accessories. Even that, because, you know, you're calling it dark terry. Basically, it's like burgundy. And if you go to pretty much any fast fashion, you know, site, maybe even some of the luxury sites, they probably have a burgundy edit. Burgundy is a fall staple. Do you know how much burgundy I have in my closet? Because they make it every other season. It's a fall color. Like, what are we talking about here? Studs, studs, studs. I already talked to you about that. I mean, it was not too long ago, maybe a couple seasons ago, we were talking about the cape studded leather jacket. So this is nothing new. Prep school, okay. Pleated skirts, more fitted blazers, straight leg jeans. There is not loafers. The G.H. Bass Whitney loafer. What are we talking about, guys? Like number 8, chunky loafer. Moving on. Number 9, leopard print. Butter yellow, that's a new one. I was actually going to go pull out my butter yellow. I have like a cropped blazer. Then I was like, do I really want to wear butter yellow in the fall? Because they said so? No. So I left it in because that's actually packed in my tubs to go down to the basement when I switched my closet over. I almost was tempted to do that based on this list. And I was like, but why? Why do I want to wear butter yellow, a pastel color, in the winter? I don't. I mean, here's the thing. Wear what you want. I'm not even really a person that feels like you need to like wear certain colors for certain seasons, but I don't see the point. And honestly, it still looks just like spring items. None of this that's in here that they have in here looks like it could be fall at all. T-bar shoes, not interested. It's not my style anyway, so like I would never wear those. Fur. Fur is a trend. Well, it's for a staple. Neckties, I'll give you that. I'm not participating in that trend, but I'll give you neckties. I want to say YSL just did a full spring summer 25 show where they did a bunch of like menswear with ties. Go look it up on Vogue if you haven't seen it. Glove flats. I guess that's just like the flat that's like, I guess it's sort of like frames your foot. I guess maybe the glove flat is like whatever kind of like is like a glove to your foot. I'm assuming they mean things like this. This is a pair of Sam Edelman shoes I have. They're in silver. I love them. I think they're so cute. These are the most comfortable, y'all. If you, I'll link these. If y'all don't have these shoes, These shoes are so comfortable. Oh my God. The leather is so soft. Try not to touch the bottom, but because I did wear them for the first time yesterday. And these are great. So I would say something like this with a silhouette. I do like, you see how it kind of has like this little section at the end that's kind of like squared off, which makes it different. I love it. So that I think is a glove flat, and everyone makes them, and that's it. Y'all, what's new on this list? Nothing. Like hardly anything. What is going on with fashion right now? It is so boring. It is boring. What is going on? They have to do something because I feel like we're in a rut. On one end, I do like the idea that there isn't a ton new. Like, for example, when it comes to denim, we're wearing all kinds of denim. We're still wearing skinny jeans. We're wearing baggies. We're wearing wide leg jeans. We're still wearing mom jeans and boyfriend jeans, and we're still wearing all that. And I think that's good because for sustainability purposes, you don't have to go out and continuously buy different things. You can just pull things out of your closet that you've already had. Granted, if you didn't get rid of it. But I do still feel like there needs to be some interesting things going on in fashion right now. And there's not. And so all they're doing is repurposing, all of these different old trends. And to be honest with you, I'm actually okay with them doing that. But don't say that these are things that you need to go out and buy. I think to me that's the bigger issue that I have with it. It's like they're trying to repurpose it as if it's new to sell more crap. And it's like we already have this in our closet. We already have it. And I also feel like too, part of the issue is that whenever there is like a trend that's a little bit newer, something that we really haven't seen before, everyone starts to like replicate it. And I don't really care if people replicate it. I think to me the issue is just that means that it's just no creativity. So everything looks the same. Here's the thing, when it comes to like dupes or whatever, there are some people that don't like when people buy dupes because they don't want people to look the same. My personal opinion about that is that a lot of that conversation is very classist. They don't want you to mistake their luxury item for the dupe. That's the issue to me. However, I do understand the conversations that a few people do have around everyone looking exactly the same, but a part of that has to do with the fact that everybody's carrying the same things. Like, all these fashion houses, they carry the same looks, and then that has been carried down to the fast fashion, where most of the people reside. And, people are looking exactly the same. And I think that that's part of the reason why fashion right now, I think fashion is really dead. I feel like Kendrick Lamar, when it comes to hip hop, and him saying that we needed to just burn it all down and let the party die, I feel like fashion right now is dead. Because right now, it's just getting out of control. There are a few people who have the mindset that fashion just looks the same. And so, going after the trends and having to do every single thing that everyone, having to buy every single thing that everyone has, you don't really have a sense of personal style. But I personally don't think that it has anything to do with personal style. I think it has to do with everything looks the same. Because everyone is not going to be a stylist. Like, let's keep it a buck. Like, there are a few people or a segment of the population who is stylish and they know how to put it together. They understand, fashion in general, and they're able to like look great every single day. Most people do not reside, in that spectrum at all. And that's just the truth, because a lot of people, when you go outside, they look a mess. And they do. Like, very few people you're looking at twice to be like, okay, you really did that today. There's not too many people that do that. Like, that's just how it is. I don't care what city you're in. At the end of the day, you're not coming across 50, 60% of people in society that really are well put together. That's just not the case. So the vast majority of people are not stylish. So they do need reference points. And while I do agree that, people don't have their own sense of style right now, I think that's always been the case. I think they've always needed help. You know, you can't say that, you know, almost every person that you come across on the street looks stylish, because they don't. Most people look a mess. Like, let's just call it a spade a spade. Most people look a mess. And that's fine, because fashion is not everyone's bag. Not everyone knows how to put it together. No, not everyone has a sense of style. They do need help. The thing is that everyone does look the same because everybody's carrying the same things, and you're seeing the same things over and over again. And then social media in general, you know, that helps to kind of put these images into your head, you know, with influencers and whatnot. So obviously there's a lot more content that's consumed than before, you know, there was the internet. Basically, during my teenage years, you know, into my early 30s, we didn't really have the internet like that, and we definitely didn't have social media. So we didn't have like these images of trying to emulate. Like, yeah, you might have seen celebrities, but even that's, you know, far and few in between, because again, you didn't have access like that. Now there's a ton of access to images and things of that nature, so you can't even really compare, you know, times before to like what we're dealing with right now. So I do understand that, but I feel like because of that, because of all these images and people trying to emulate people, and then because of that, then that makes it easier for these brands to be able to copy, you know, what's going on, not only with, you know, with what's going on with luxury retail and scaling it down to like, you know, like a lower, you know, price consumer, but also, you know, your peers as well. And then because you're able to like turn these things over fairly quickly compared to like what was really happening in fashion, you know, like several decades ago, it's just a different environment. And honestly, it has killed fashion. I think fashion is officially dead. Let me just clarify my comments even about the barn jacket, because I don't want to come across as someone that feels like you can't wear what you want, or that you should wear certain things and that you should be above this or that or the third. It's not that at all. I'm basically just saying that a barn jacket is not a trend, it is a staple. And that's really it. Like, it's been a staple, and either it's your aesthetic or it's not. Like, I feel like trying to force something like that into like the mainstream fashion avenue because you guys lack trends and you lack ingenuity in fashion is, I find that to be somewhat problematic, and I can't even tell you why. I just think it is. I think it is. Like, you're trying to convince people that a barn jacket is something that's like high fashion, and it's not. It's functional. It's functional. Plenty of people have carried them for years. It is not a trend. I do not like saying that things that are fall staples or trends, because A, if it's not your aesthetic, I don't want you trying to convince people that it is. So you're spending money unnecessarily on something that you're probably not going to wear past this season. I think that's my bigger issue with the two being used interchangeably, because it's purposely done. Like, don't think that it's not. So let me know your thoughts about the video, and talk to you soon.